programs, they're block grant programs that would allow disadvantaged communities, like communities maybe, out in the Midwest, or not necessarily inner city or anything else like that, but like Trump voting districts. It would prevent them from fixing their bridges. It's not just about housing. So you consistently act against evidence, which is, it's really, really shocking and disheartening to have an elected official who has so much power and influence over so much money and so many people to just throw it all away and just go, I'm going to do whatever I want. I dreamed this thing up last night. I'm just going to go for it. So, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Mary, and I'm from Henrico County. I've been dogging Dave Bratt pretty much 3-4 times a week. I'm here, and I talk to Dave not Dave, never Dave, staff pretty regularly about a vulnerable population that I work with, and it kind of builds on what Sarah was talking about. I'm a physical therapist, and I work with a program that provides in-home services for infants and toddlers with disabilities. This is an incredibly vulnerable population, and this is a population that gets hit by everything. And if you can see the stack of bills for a broken arm, I have personally seen NICU bills for $3 million that have come into a family's home. And in the olden days, I've been doing this about 100 years, and in the olden days, most of my family's children had reached their lifetime limit before they left the NICU. Most of my families were bankrupt about 3 or 4 months into me working with those kids because they were never, ever going to pay those bills. And the Affordable Care Act has changed so much for so many children and their families, and it's given these families an opportunity to look to the future when before they really couldn't. And we need to be really honest about this. If a physical therapist shows up at your house to see your 4-month-old baby, something terrible has happened to your family. And these aren't children who have a little speech problem. These are mostly children who are going to require some sort of assistance for the rest of their life. Their families did nothing wrong, and this is what happened to them. And I have been trying to get this message across to Dave, to anybody who will listen, is that we need to support these families. They're working families. I have a lot of poor families in the areas, Dave Bratt's rural areas, where they're working families. These people are working hard, but there's no jobs. It's a food desert. You have to drive 15 miles to work a minimum wage job, and you have a disabled child. And I just want you all to hear me. I want you all to understand about this population, because these families are too busy taking care of their babies to write you a letter.
Can you hear me? Yeah. My name is Casey Landrum. I live in Henrico, actually a few blocks away. There's like a million things I would love to say to Dave Bratt's face. I had an opportunity for like 30 seconds to say something once, and he handed me his business card and was like, we'll meet up. This sounds serious. And then it never happened.
Let's do it.
Right? Yeah, we'll do this. Let's work on this together. And I'd like to address, the healthcare thing, I can't even think about. I am a state employee. I work a bajillion hours a week. I have a great benefits package. The first time I was hospitalized, my bill was $1.8 million. And I was able, and that was a while back, but I had some insurance, so I really only paid about $3,500, and that was still monumental. But since then, I've probably spent over $100,000 on just medication and maintaining me, what it's like to be me, and then 15 to 20 additional surgeries. And I'm somebody with resources. So I'm concerned about somebody who doesn't think that that's an essential part of anybody's life, let alone a marginalized population, of which I don't belong to a marginalized population. I'm a cisgender white woman who's married to a dude. So like I got it pretty easy, you know? But it's so hard even now that I rarely make my medication payments monthly. I actually get a lot of my medications abroad from family and friends that live abroad, because I can go get vitamin D in astronomical levels that I need off the shelf somewhere else, rather than paying $50 a month for it here. So that's a piece of what I'd love to say to this guy who seems to not value healthcare for anybody except for himself and the people he works with. So that's one piece of it. Another piece that I'd like to just really quickly address, I'd like to give props to the woman who came up here, Elizabeth, who talked about Charlottesville. I'm really worried about the bullying component that's happening. I was in that town hall when people were telling us to F off, and somehow the narrative got switched that we were these abusive, left-wing idiots who were out of control, and they're so violent. And the same thing is happening with Charlottesville. I was in the heart of Charlottesville. I was walking in front of the pack, and I was with Heather Heyer when she died. And as somebody who had to see the most horrific act of violence I have ever seen in my life, and then be with somebody holding their wounds as they pass away, to go on to Dave Bratt's page and be called a terrorist by his followers is beyond problematic. It's abhorrent. And then to have his followers continue to hound me and say things like, Heather deserved it because she was in the road and she shouldn't have been bothering those people. I just think, where's all the backup to all the talk that this guy tells us? Show me the bullies, bring them